am back. I'm back from my adventure. For those of you that didn't know, I went down to South America. And I say it was an adventure because it was not a vacation, it was an adventure. I went through a tour group called G Adventures, which was absolutely amazing. I actually went alone, but I was with a group, and I went to Machu Picchu, which has been a dream of mine. And I barely went online. I was in the Amazon rainforest at one point and didn't even have electricity, which was amazing. Very nice to get offline and to rejuvenate and recharge. It was definitely something I needed for both my physical and mental health. And I highly recommend it. And it's funny because, when people found out that I went alone, so many people were so worried about me. And, I gotta tell you guys, when I go out of the country, I feel much safer in other countries than I actually feel here. And one of the reasons why I feel a lot safer in foreign countries than I feel here is because here, the deep state has their mind-controlled slaves everywhere. They have puppets and slaves that answer to them in positions of power, whether they be judges, police officers, celebrities, just random people. They're freaking everywhere, especially in California. I'm constantly harassed. I'm constantly targeted. I'm constantly pulled over. I'm constantly followed. Not so much anymore, but I go long periods of time without leaving the house because it's just not worth it. So actually, when I leave the country, they don't have the tentacles that they have here outside the country. So when I leave the country, I can actually breathe, and I don't have that feeling that somebody's following me because nobody is, and it's awesome. And so sadly, I feel safer when I'm in foreign countries than I do here. I went to Cuba last year. I was getting hit and targeted really bad, and I felt really safe in Cuba, which I never thought I would say in a million years. But now that we're learning the truth about the deep state and how the cabal operates, everything's starting to make more sense. Anyways, so it's been a while since I've done an update. Thankfully, I didn't miss too much while I was gone. I was so worried that something really big was going to happen while I was gone, and I wasn't going to get online to talk about it. But the last thing that happened before I left to take a break was the IG report had a line in there talking about crimes against children tied with the Clinton Foundation. So that was the biggest news that happened before I left, which the mainstream media has completely ignored. Fox News Channel did run a blurb on Laura Ingraham's show, but she didn't really get into it, but she at least ran that line, crimes against children and the ties with the Clinton Foundation. Probably the biggest thing that happened while I was gone, and I was so pissed about this, I did hop online while I was in Peru to talk about this. Peter Fonda tweeted that he wanted Barron Trump, 12-year-old Barron Trump, President Trump's son, to be thrown in a cage with pedophiles. And which is, the most disgusting and horrific thing anyone could say about anyone's child. Even if you hate President Trump, this is an innocent child. Like, what is wrong with you? But, it's funny because someone tweeted me the other day an interview I did on Anna Kite's show before YouTube actually deleted her account. I think it's my fault that her account got deleted because we had just done a show on Pizzagate. And so, sorry, Anna, but she's actually on to better things, and she's doing much bigger and better things right now, and she's going to have an even bigger impact of what she's doing now, so that's going to blow up in the deep state's face. But I was on her show over a year ago, and someone tweeted to me recently, and I forgot about this, but she flat out, we were talking about Pizzagate and the child sex trafficking, and she flat out asked me about, the pedophiles and stuff, and I said then, this was well over a year ago, I said, those people that are screaming the loudest against President Trump, they're the ones that have the biggest skeletons in their closet, and the ones screaming the absolute loudest, they're pedophiles. And or they're tied to child sex trafficking. So whether, they attend spirit cooking dinners or they profit off of child sex trafficking, or they're actually trafficking kids, procuring kids, raping kids. The people that are screaming the loudest are the ones that are involved in this stuff. Never fails. And I said this well over a year ago. And Anna asked me on the show if I could name a pedophile who hadn't been exposed yet that was screaming loudly against President Trump. And I said, sure, Kevin Spacey. And sure enough, after I said this, he was exposed for sexually assaulting multiple minors, and they canceled the entire House of Cards because of this. And it actually just, I think it was a few days ago, it's come out that more minors have come out with allegations against him. So, that didn't surprise me in the least. So my point being is that I've been saying for a very, very, very long time that the people screaming the loudest against President Trump, it never fails. They're the ones that are involved in the child sex trafficking. They're the ones that have the most to hide. Never fails. So back to the Peter Fonda. So, okay, this guy, what a nut job. So, okay, an open secret. Thank God for them. They were totally on this when this happened. So they kind of picked up my slack while I was gone. In 2009, Peter Fonda said that Roman Polanski, who drugged and then violently raped a 13-year-old girl, he said that what he did isn't criminal. So Peter Fonda, at the minimum, is pro-pedophile. He supports child rape. If you don't think that drugging and raping a 13-year-old child isn't criminal, then you might be a pedophile, but the minimum, you're pro-pedophile. Like, is he a member of NAMBLA? Like, if you don't think that's criminal, if you don't think that's wrong, then you support pedophilia. So Peter Fonda supports pedophilia, okay? He was in a movie with Brooke Shields that was a pedophile fantasy film, Wanda, Nevada. An Open Secret posted that too. I never had heard of that film. Doesn't surprise me. And I've never seen it. But, again, it never fails. These psychopaths that are screaming the loudest against Trump, every single one of them is tied to child sex trafficking. They're making it so easy for us to identify them and to expose them. Whenever one of these nut jobs says something about President Trump that's so unhinged. Who attacks a 12-year-old child like this and says they should be thrown in a cage with pedophiles? What the hell is wrong with you? Every single time someone says something like this that's just so unhinged, I go straight to Google and I Google that person's name with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Haiti, child sex trafficking, pedophilia. There's a few keywords I use, and within a minute, I usually can find some tie between this person and child sex trafficking. It never fails. So, okay, so Peter Fonda says this. He's still verified on Twitter. Like, what's up with that, Jack? I got unverified for stating facts about Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. Straight up facts. I got unverified. But Peter can say the president's son needs to be thrown in a cage with child rapists, and he's still verified. How nice it must be to be a pro-pedophile liberal in Hollywood. And then he had a movie coming out, and Sony didn't pull the movie. So Roseanne, who's exposing child trafficking, who's fighting for the kids, who's exposing pedophile, she makes a bad joke that was totally misunderstood. Her whole show gets canceled. Her entire show gets canceled. This woman is trying to save children. And then you have this nut job, who's pro-pedophile, who is an advocate for child rape, because he doesn't think what Roman Polanski did is criminal, and he's saying the president's son should be thrown in a cage with child rapists. And Sony, they don't pull the movie. It must be really nice to be pro-pedophile these days, because you can do whatever the hell you want and just nothing happens to you. But if you expose pedophilia, you get unverified from Twitter, all your followers get deleted, You lose jobs from the mainstream media. You can't make enough money to put food on the table. You get harassed, you get followed, you get attacked physically over, social media. I mean, I could go on and on and on. So must be really nice to be, pro-pedophile Peter Fonda. The good news is that the American people, the masses, don't put up with this BS. And his film grossed, I read 30,000. That's like so embarrassing. That's ridiculous. 30,000. So, that's the good news. The good news is, despite these major corporations still supporting these pro-pedophile, like, whack jobs, the American people don't support this. And they are going to show the world that they don't support this with their pocketbooks, and they're already doing so. So the next big thing that happened that actually, this broke, like right as I was flying out of South America, or, I don't know, it took me like 2 days to get home, but this broke pretty much right as I was arriving back in the States on my way home, and I was so happy it broke, not while I was on my trip, is that a Hillary Clinton associate has been arrested for attempting to rape, not a child, an infant. And this Hillary Clinton supporter associate had images of child porn and videos of child porn. And when I say child porn, and it's really important for people to understand this because a lot of people don't understand this. When I say child porn, I am not talking about a girl who's 17 that looks like she's 25. I'm talking that these people are so evil and sick and deranged. I can't even say it. I feel gross. I feel dirty even like saying this, but people need to know this. They are into watching adults rape babies, infants, okay? That's how sick these people are. Jacob Schwartz, you guys remember Jacob Schwartz? He was arrested last year. The mainstream media completely ignored it. I confronted Jake Tapper, fake Tapper, for not covering this at Politicon last year because Jacob Schwartz was loved at CNN. CNN gave him tons of airtime. Well, he is Mayor Bill de Blasio, another pro-pedophile politician out there. He was one of Mayor de Blasio's top aides. He was arrested for having child porn that included infant rape. Okay, these demons are into not only raping kids, babies, all right? So this Joel Davis guy was arrested. An FBI agent was posing as another pedophile, I believe, and he went back and forth with this FBI agent. God bless that FBI agent, by the way. I'm sure that guy has PTSD from just having to talk to this disgusting monster. Just reading the unsealed indictment is enough to give you PTSD. Anyways, pray for that FBI agent, by the way, because doing this work is horrible. Absolutely horrible. But yeah, he went back and forth, and he was like bragging about all the sick footage he has of like adults raping kids. And the FBI agent mentioned that he had a young daughter, and Joel Davis said he would love to lick the little girls. You know what? I'm not going to say it. It's so disgusting. I was going to kind of list off some of the things that he said. I'm trying to find the post I did on it. It's honestly, it's so disgusting. I'm not even going to list it out. I wrote it on Facebook. And the reason why I wrote some of the details from the sealed indictment online is because people need to understand the kind of evil we're dealing with here. So many people don't understand the kind of evil we're dealing with here, and that's why we're in this mess. That's why the pedophilia and the child rape has been swept under the rug. People do not understand what is going on, and it's horrible to hear. It's a hard pill to swallow, but people need to know what's going on, because if you don't know what's going on, you're not going to get angry. And if you don't get angry, and if people don't raise their voices like I'm doing and like so many of you guys are doing, then nothing's going to change. These children are going to continue to get raped. And so that's why people need to learn the whole ugly truth. And at this point in the game, where so much is coming out about the pedophilia, and the elite pedophile rings, and the politicians and the people in Hollywood that are raping kids. There's so much coming out, and at this point in the game, if you choose to turn a blind eye to this at this point, from my perspective, you're no better than the people raping kids. Mark Taylor, God bless him. I've been such a big fan of his forever. And he wrote the Trump prophecy, and he said that he keeps hearing from God, save my children, save my children, save my children. And he also says that if you choose at this point to turn a blind eye to this, then you are helping the enemy. You are working with the kingdom of darkness. You are helping Satan. So if you sit back and you know this is going on and you choose to do nothing, you're working for the devil. End of story, period. Get on your knees and repent and start doing something. Because at this point, you can't turn a blind eye. And if you do turn a blind eye, then you're no better than these horrible people that are raping kids. If you're not good enough of a person to want to save a child from getting raped, then you don't even deserve to be on this planet, as far as I'm concerned. So this Hillary associate, Joel Davis, Q actually pointed him out, which was amazing. Q said, is it a coincidence that he worked for Hillary Clinton? There were some people that were disputing whether he was officially working on her campaign or not. There were outlets that was, I believe the Daily Mail reported that he did work for the Hillary Clinton campaign. And I don't believe that Q would have posted that article unless that was legit. Everything, Q knows everything. And I don't think that Q would have posted that article if it wasn't an honest article. The article Q posted was from Your Newswire, and a lot of people don't like Your Newswire. They think Your Newswire is disinfo. Your Newswire sometimes can be disinfo. They've done stuff on me that was totally wrong, but then they've also done stuff that was completely accurate, which honestly makes them no different than any other media outlet. I mean, look at all the fake news that CNN puts out. Even Fox News channels put out fake news. They covered up Pizzagate. Look what Megyn Kelly did. So, I mean, you can't really trust any news outlet. But if there's an outlet that puts out a good story that's factual, then, that should be recognized. I do believe this guy. I do trust the Daily Mail's report and Your Newswire, at least on this story. And True Pundit did a follow-up as well. Who knows exactly what his position was at the Hillary Clinton campaign. And also it needs to be noted that they are scrubbing lots of stuff from the internet. All right, I've been covering this for 2 years, and there's a lot of things that have been scrubbed that I used to be able to find that I can't find anymore. So just because you can't find it on the internet doesn't mean it's not true. They're scrubbing a ton of stuff. But here's why it's important to note that he was working for Hillary Clinton. And there's pedophiles in both parties. There's pedophiles in everywhere. Unfortunately, they have infiltrated everything and every organization, every group. The reason why it's important to note that he worked for Hillary Clinton is because Hillary Clinton is involved with trafficking kids. They were trafficking kids from Haiti. They got Laura Silsby, who was busted trafficking kids, out of jail. Hillary Clinton's top campaign manager, John Podesta, was trafficking kids. He's a pedophile. All of Hillary Clinton's campaign workers, not all of them, but many of them, especially the ones at the top, were all using pedophile code words in their emails. They attend spirit cooking dinners, okay? You didn't find that with the Trump campaign. No one in the Trump campaign uses pedophile code words. I don't know of anyone in the Trump campaign that was attending spirit cooking dinners. I don't know anyone, from the Trump campaign that was flying to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein's island and raping kids. I could go on and on and on. So that's why it's important to point out that he worked for Hillary Clinton. There's a pattern here. All the people that Hillary Clinton associates with, most of them are pedophiles, and they're trafficking kids. I mean, put it together. You are who you hang out with. And we can't forget that Kathy O'Brien wrote a book claiming that Hillary Clinton molested her. To this day, Hillary Clinton has not denied this. Why? If someone wrote a book and went on a book tour claiming that I molested them, are you kidding me? I would hire an army of lawyers and destroy that person. If someone was spreading lies like that about me, oh my gosh, they haven't even denied it. Hillary started her career defending a pedophile. who raped a little girl so violently that she was knocked unconscious and couldn't have kids. So, there's a pattern here, and it's pretty obvious what's going on. Hillary Clinton and all their associates, not all of them, but many of them, especially ones at the top, are involved in trafficking kids. And most of them are pedophiles. So, that kind of ties us up to ties into what's going on right now is the Democrats, and I want to make this clear because people get confused about this. There are pedophiles in both parties, but there's only one party that's pushing the pedophile agenda. That's the Democratic Party. Their policy, their legislation is pushing for child sex trafficking. Their policy enables child sex traffickers from the border, the refugee crisis, being against the wall, and now their new genius ideas, they want to get rid of ICE. Oh, awesome. What a great platform, you guys, to run on. You want to get rid of ICE. ICE is one of the main agencies that fights child sex trafficking and arrests pedophiles. Okay? ICE does fantastic work saving kids from child sex trafficking rings, saving kids from pedophiles. And Cynthia Nixon and Mayor Bill de Blasio, Secret Pizza Party Mayor Bill de Blasio, they're calling, many other Democrats, but I'm focusing on them, they're calling for ICE to be abolished. So they're literally calling for an agency that saves kids from rapists to be abolished. I mean, think about that. This is how far gone the Democratic Party is. They are supporting child sex trafficking. If you want ICE abolished, you are helping pedophiles. Are you a pedophile? If you want ICE abolished, you might be a pedophile because the only group of people that helps are pedophiles. Not the kids are being raped. So Cynthia Nixon wants ICE abolished. Mayor Bill de Blasio wants ICE abolished. No surprise there. Mayor Bill de Blasio, before Pizzagate broke and before the Podesta emails came out, he openly read in public a book called Secret Pizza Party. Research it. It is a pedophile grooming book. He read this freaking book to kids in public. Okay? Talk about New World Order, Illuminati, hiding your message in plain sight. These people are brazen. They're relentless. They are so freaking arrogant. They just throw what they're doing in our faces. It's disgusting. And they believe that they have to announce what they're doing, even if it's just through their, their symbols and their code words. They believe in free will, and they believe that if they announce they believe that they have to announce what they're doing. And if we choose to accept it, then it's on us. So we need to not accept it. We need to refute it, rebuke it in the name of Jesus Christ, because this is a spiritual warfare. What I do love about President Trump, though, is that he trolls the Illuminati and the deep state and, the cabal. He trolls them with their own words and symbols, and it's hilarious. During a meeting the other day, I didn't see this. I think this happened when I was away, but President Trump had a round table, and Mulvaney, I can't remember what they were talking about, but Mulvaney was in there, and he was discussing regulations, and he kept bringing up cheese pizza and hot dogs, and he was using those words as an analogy. And that was 1,000% a troll. President Trump and his staffers are constantly trolling the deep state. I think it was the Department of Defense. They tweet about pizza a lot. Right when President Trump got into office, this was within the first 2 weeks that he was sworn into office, they launched the Blue Campaign. And the Blue Campaign came out with a commercial to bring awareness to human trafficking and child sex trafficking. And the scene of this commercial opens up at a pizza parlor, and the announcer says something along the lines of, you can find this on YouTube still, by the way, says something along the lines of human trafficking is everywhere, and it shows someone leaving a pizza parlor. That's President Trump's way of letting you know Pizzagate is real. It is not fake. He's constantly using their words against them and throwing it in their face, and God bless him. It's amazing. And Q also posted about why is the deep state, why are the members of the cabal trying to normalize pedophilia? And I'm constantly talking about this. I'm constantly posting about this. They've been trying to normalize pedophilia for a very long time. So Netflix was running a movie that questionably had child porn in it. Netflix, of course, they're doing a deal with the Obamas, and Susan Rice just signed on with Netflix. So like, no surprise, they're promoting pedophilia now. I can point to so many articles that have been written, by the leftist mainstream media trying to normalize pedophilia. This has been in the works for a very long time. The deep state has been trying to normalize pedophilia in the arts, in entertainment, in the media, Netflix, you name it, for a very long time. And Q asks, well, why are they doing that? And it's because, and they also are doing it through bringing in the Muslim refugees. Because the people that are coming in from these Middle Eastern countries, most of them are pedophiles. They believe in their religion you can marry a 9-year-old child and rape her. All right? So it's no coincidence they are bringing these people in the boatloads. And they're not women and children, by the way, they're coming in. The women and children are trafficked. So that's why when the boats come in, you only see the men. And that's why we have a child rape epidemic now in Europe. Because they brought in all these pedophiles. I'm not saying all of them are pedophiles, but when you bring people over from the Middle East who were raised to believe that raping a child is okay, what do you think is going to happen? So, just lost my train of thought. Okay, so why are they trying to normalize pedophilia? At the end of the day, Q talks about this, and people, the truthers, know this. We are more powerful than them, all right? There are way more of us than there are of these pedophile Satanist demons. And they know that if we knew the truth, we would be able to destroy them, which is what's happening right now. They know that normal people don't rape babies. They know that normal people don't eat babies. They know that normal people don't drink blood from babies, okay? This is what these people do. And so their only hope is to destroy society so much, to desensitize us so much that the younger generation finds pedophilia acceptable, all right? That's what they're trying to do. And they're pushing this really hard, but it's not going to work. So that's pretty much all I have, you guys, for tonight. And thank you for your patience. And, I haven't done a video in a while. I apologize. I haven't done a video in a while, but I am back now. And lots of good stuff is happening, and I'll be doing more videos. So that's it. I hope everyone had an amazing 4th of July, and thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always. And take care. Bye.